Yeah, then I guess just go ahead and change the tires out.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. I guess Pledge of Allegiance is first on the agenda.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
All right, Ms. Dobson?
Here.
Mr. Dutzman?
Here.
Mr. Earhart?
Here.
Mr. Mitchell?
Here.
Mr. Aravallo?
Here.
Mr. Sly? Ms. Squire? Mr. Welsh? Mr. Mitchell, we do have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. Any changes to the agenda this evening? Somebody'd like to make a motion?
A motion to approve the agenda as it stands.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to citizen participation.
Hi, Steve Oswald, 504 North Jackson. I was just curious to know if there'd been any kind of headway or even a beginning on the revision of the master plan by chance. I don't know if that's you guys I would talk to or who would do the actual approval of the master plan or make the master plan, but I'm just kind of curious to know where I should start asking questions too. Okay, that's all I was curious about. Do we have any idea when, of course, with your very busy schedule, I understand.
Well, actually, it has not out of legal yet. So we did discuss that with them today, and because we were hoping to already have it out for RFP, and it will happen here soon, or we'll do it ourselves. So.
Okay, excellent. I was just curious as to where that was. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other citizen participation? All right, we'll move on to formal commission action. Approval of the minutes from the March 3rd, 2022 meeting.
Will we accept the minutes as written?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Start the voting on the left.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Motion carries 3-0-2. All right. Final plat application, plat 05-2022 for Boulder Springs 4.
Okay, thank you. Boulder Springs 4, it's a 9.6 acre tract, 30 lots. It follows the preliminary plat. This is actually the very far north piece, and so it's all but wrapped up on most of it. There's a couple little infills and that's it. This does show that the right-of-way up there at the top is exactly the same as it was in the preliminary plat. As far as 30 foot on one side, it'd be 30 foot on the other side, and because that'll be a collector that runs east-west. So the preliminary plat, after it was revised in 2018, yes, 18, now it was reduced to 122 lots with 5 common tracks. This is a 30 acre with 2 tracks, 2 common tracks. The plans and drawings have already started being submitted to engineering for review on the development of it. All the various consultants and other divisions within the city has looked at it, reviewed, and we really didn't have any comments. And we verified the persons that own it and also that the taxes are paid. Police and fire, our public school, we're all notified. City will do the sanitary, Water One will do the water. Characteristics as far as the plantings and the houses and all that, none of that's changed since the preliminary plat. Excise tax, it's calculated, it has to be paid before this plat will be presented to the governing body. This development, with some additional walking trails that we're also working in conjunction with another development with them, they do allow the public to participate on the trails. So at this time, it does not look like they'll have to pay the $300 per building permit. Staff finds that it is in substantial compliance, and staff recommends approval of it. I'll answer any questions.
Is there gonna be another entry or exit
Yeah,
in this end of the
yes, it's what I was talking about, the very far,
one up there?
yes, clear at the top. And if you look at your preliminary, or at your final plat also, in your packet, you'll see a widened area there, and that is the collector that will run east-west. And they're actually gonna build their side of the collector. We were working out some type of escrow agreement where the city would maybe escrow the money, but you can't just escrow it and not have inflationary on that. So they're just gonna build it, and so half of it will be built. But it'll be the size of all of our normal typical streets, cause it is a collector. So yes, that does tie in up there. And we do have assurances from the property to the north that is in the county. We have assurances that before we went on with that, way back in the preliminary plat, that would be a collector, and they will donate that right away for the collector along there. Actually, Boulder Springs has worked out really well here lately, or since the preliminary plat. And we added some of the connected living, the duplexes and all in there, and it's worked out well.
They're filling out quickly out there.
They are, and I actually, in some inspections out there, did a final, and older people are just happier than heck.
Yeah.
They actually, I think they bought the whole thing,
It's nice.
living in one side and renting out the other, and. Mhm. Yeah, I think it turned out real nice.
Any other questions for Mr. Burton? Any discussion?
I don't think so. Motion to recommend approval of final plat of Boulder Springs, plat 05/2022.
Second.
Presented by staff, sorry.
Oh, trigger happy there.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the plat, starting voting on the left.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Final plat application 822 Dayton Creek 8th plat.
Hey, thank you. Dayton Creek 8th, it's 29 acres and 65 lots. And it's just a continuation. It's set up exactly like the preliminary plat. All the, we've checked everything, you know, all the taxes are paid, the ownership is the same, and the drawings are actually already into engineering. They've been working on them for quite a while, in conjunction with Dayton Creek 7. And what they're hoping is to get through, as you can see now, they're putting in Dayton Creek 7 up there, as you see the equipment, is to just keep going and put in the next one as well. They're running out of lots faster than they can get them online, is what the problem is occurring. Everything's, the park fee, they do not have to pay a park fee because they have the park ground, and under the Homes Association, they take care of that and the public can use it. All the review comments have already been addressed in this. Water One serves it with the water, the city serves the sewer. And other than that, the landscaping in accordance with the staff-approved landscape plan, they have the landscape plan and all there. What we're just saying is that they're doing one after another so fast that, you know, we want to make sure that they get those street trees in and all. They're a little bit behind on their street trees. And I did talk to some contractor, I don't remember who it was now. But anyway, they're coming in with catching up on all the street trees. So we just kind of said, hey, you're not going to really get any building permits until your landscaping on the prior ones are caught up. Other than that, they'll have a excise tax that would be paid prior to prior to this even going to council, and obviously before recording. Staff recommends approval of Plat 8, 2022, Dayton Creek 8.
I'll never understand the street naming convention. 187th and Terrace turns into 187th Street, but then 187th Terrace is just a street down. 186th Terrace turns into Redbud.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, and that's all
I know it's
the county.
yeah. I just don't.
And we actually had to go up, and I don't remember if it was 6 or 7, and change the street names on county plat. So, yeah. But one thing about it is, at least we know that with the EMS and all, there's no screw ups in there on board stuff, because the county loads it in and does all that. Where if you had all these different municipalities putting in these addresses and all, you know, so that is one good thing about it.
Any questions for Mr. Burton? Any comments or discussion?
Move to recommend approval of final plat application 8-2022 for Dayton Creek H plat as presented by staff.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve final plat 08-2022. Start the voting on the left.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to formal action number 4, site plan application SP 9 2022 Two Rivers Gunite.
Yes. Okay, thank you. This is Two Rivers Gunite, and what they do pools and patios, and I'm not exactly sure what all, but they have chose to put in a silo to store cement in. Not that they want to, but it's just because of, like everything else, if you don't have it, and you know, and timing on getting jobs completed and things like that, it really is very questionable in the code as to whether you even have to go to site plan on this, due to that it is called a portable nature, and it'll be set up, and you know, they can leave the tires on it and all that, but said, look, we don't have anything to hide from the planning commission, you know, we're gonna tell them that we're going to get this approved here because, and we just wanna give them an idea of what's gonna change. It's really not much changing. You can see the gravel lot there. You can see how far out it is into it, into the corner. They'll pull in, they'll do their fill up, and then the only two things will be that they'll empty into it once in a while. They'll have a company empty into it, and then they'll empty out of it several times a month and utilize that cement for their jobs. Everything meets code. You know, it is of the quote unquote portable nature. The only, if they were mixing it on site and everything, like if you remember where we had up along the tracks where they made the boxes and all, that's what really kicks in for your use permits and all your full-blown site plans and all that. But we wanted to bring it to you guys, and mostly if you have any concerns or suggestions that maybe that should take place, you know, an American flag on the top, I don't know, you know, waving in the wind. But
And it's just gonna be one?
just one, yes. Yeah.
Oh, we don't have any height restrictions in that area?
Well, we do, but I
What are
mean,
the restrictions?
oh, well, like Bettis hasn't even touched them yet, and I think they're 68
Okay.
foot up right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would imagine, to be honest with you, that once Bettis gets in operation and all, because they want to work with individuals pulling in, and maybe this will just go away and they'll just pull up and get their cement and on down the road at a later date. But yes, there's some height. I think it's like 66 foot or 68 foot or something like that.
So is this, sorry.
Mhm.
So is this like a revised site plan application then?
No, it really, we just brought it as a site plan application to you guys to get comments if you had some, if there's something we didn't think about.
Sure.
If you really, no, it's just an add-on. Truthfully, like I said, we didn't even really have to bring it,
Right.
but we wanted to, in case, well, a couple things. We want you guys to know what's going on, and
Appreciate that.
if there's something that you say, you know, it'd sure be nice if they just do this, and we could talk to them about that. So,
I just wanna make sure we're not expecting to see, you know, grading plans and landscape plans and
No.
plans and,
no,
okay.
no, because that site plan's already been approved.
Right, so it's.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where the, if it's like. a
Confusion may have
revised-
came
yeah.
in, yeah. It's, mm-mm. But that's something, you know, you can say, well, maybe from this view, if you go out right there along the street and put some additional shrubs or something.
Yeah, ain't gonna do much.
No, that's what I'm getting at. That's why it's like, okay, so, you know.
But this thing is this is secured, right, when it's upright?
Mhm.
We don't have to worry about it blowing over and getting into the right of way there or something.
No,
when it blows over.
and they're poured the concrete, I think today or yesterday or something.
Alright,
Is there a rep here? Yeah. So they've already poured the concrete on it. Yep. I don't know, we saw some stuff blowing over here the last few days. But anyway, if you have any comments or what you think you might want to see different, it's not like we can really screen it with shrubs and stuff, you know, it's,
You're not gonna require them to grow some big trees or anything around?
yes, some really big ones in there. Painted a different color, I don't know.
I got no further comments.
Any other questions for Mr. Burton?
Motion to recommend approval of site plan application 9-2022 for 18520 Webster Street LLC as presented by staff.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Start the voting on the left.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to discussion reports.
Thank you. So, rezoning application, 207th Ridgeview went through, final plat, Oakwoods Townhomes went through council, and so did, the site plans. The comment that, from earlier, discussed with you is that we, as soon as, well, it's actually been with legal for 1 month now. I had a discussion today with Chuck, which isn't here tonight. But I expect that no matter what, that RFP has to be out next week. I do know that everybody's busy. I mean, we're all doing double duty and still able to throw these, these meetings together and everything. And not that we want to do it that way, but so I did talk to Chuck today, and Ashley spoke with Chuck several times today and all. And, there can't be a whole lot of comments, I wouldn't think, So we definitely have to get it out because we've actually had a lot of firms call. Say, hey, we knew you guys were getting ready to do something. Are you going to get it done this year? Yes. So it's going to be published next week. Whether there's mistakes there or not, can't be too many mistakes. We'll have to deal through it. We'll have to work through them, And then I'm going to have to change the dates now on it for when we expect the RFPs to be back. And most of all that is dealing with insurance and all. Well, this is a case where, they're not designing a bridge structure. So there's really not a whole lot of liability except for when people are traveling and things like that. So we will have that out and get that on the ball so we can start getting this together and hopefully by then we'll have a city administrator and we can focus more on actual what we should be doing. So
I apologize, I missed that work session last month when I was the one who called for it. I just got pulled into work, but,
yeah.
So it sounds like we're sending out the RFPs, and do we have a date to get proposals back by?
But we were actually going to look at them this meeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So because everything that's in there, it's pretty standard.
Boilerplate material.
Right, it's boilerplate stuff. So now our intentions is May
Okay.
to go through those.
It's already May next month.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean,
So do we need to try to schedule a work session then next month, or are we not quite ready for that yet?
well, I think what we'll need to do in May I'm not quite ready.
Okay.
What we need to do is pick a firm, then we'll get it to the council, get that approval. And I guess meanwhile, we could go ahead, as soon as we get it picked and pick some day to meet them and things like that. So, yeah, first meeting in May, the meeting in May, we'll pick a date of some work sessions or something. And then, by then, maybe everyone will have a pretty good idea what they have going on in May anyway with school activities and things like that. So,
Great.
Or like-
21st.
21st? Gee, already.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, would it help you with Chuck if the commission would instruct you to get this out by a certain date?
Right, so in this case, I can't really go into it, but it's really not Chuck's lack of doing it, it's more on the FMLA type side. So yes, it is his fault, but it's not, you understand what I'm saying, so.
Sure.
Other than that, that's all I really have. Quick meeting and we're exhausted and So,
You all are doing a great job.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, I guess I get you caught up on a couple of things real quick. Let's see, Finance has tendered her resignation, Finance Director. I don't know, end of May or something, end of May. IT leaves us on the 14th of this month. I don't know, any other good news or bad news? So
How's your
we're
IT
getting
skills?
ready. We're just getting ready to get into budget. And they are getting some applications. Not personally, I would have thought that we would have received oodles and gobs, and I mean, we're talking,
It's a tough market.
count them on one hand, the applications, and you can count them with 3 fingers on qualifications. So, it's crazy. I really don't, and I don't know whatever. I don't know how you're going to end up paying people.
It's a tough market right
That people are getting, and
Hard to-
it's crazy. So I really did think, 3 weeks into it, we'd have several applications for stuff, but nope. So I think that catches up on all that, doesn't it? All right. Anything else? Thank you much. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Would like to move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
The second that.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Adjourned at 7:27.
I wouldn't talk so long. We both